2021 bowl season. We got the quick lane bowl, Broncos against Wolfpack. And in Nevada, Wolfpack is 2 words. So, end of the third quarter, Nevada's getting killed. They're down 21. They are going to get a stop on 2nd and 5. That's going to set up 3rd and 1. And they are going to get this stop right here on 3rd and 1. So the clock's going to run down for the third quarter. First play of the fourth quarter is going to be a Western Michigan punt. Now, Taua, interim head coach for Nevada, just for this game, he has a decision to make, and the time to make that decision is right after this punt. Nevada is going to have 1st and 10 on their own 10. Don't wait until 3rd down. The decision is here. Don't get to 4th down and then decide after your 3rd down play is over, are we going to go for this or not? The decision is right here. 1st and 10 at your own 10. It's all 4 downs the entire way. If there's any chance you win, you probably won't, but if there's any chance you win, you need to score right here. And this made me think about something that used to happen in poker a lot. So let's play poker for a second. Back in the day, I mean, it still happens all the time, but it was rampant back in the day. This, the same concept used to show itself in No Limit Hold'em. So first, just, if you don't play Hold'em, there's pre-flop, and then there's 3 more streets of betting. There's the flop, there's the turn, and final round of betting is the river. So what used to happen all the time is that someone would get his hole cards, money would go in pre-flop. Then you would get to the flop, 2nd round of betting, more money would go in, no one would really be thinking that much. You would get to the turn, even more money would go in, and the amounts going in are getting bigger and bigger because most people are betting in relation to the pot. So each street, there's bigger bets. And then finally you get to the river, the 4th and final street of betting, and this is where the most money is probably going to be going in. So people would get these medium strength hands in these awkward spots on rivers because they weren't really thinking pre-flop, flop, or turn, and they would have no idea what to do. They would make a terrible decision, which was great for the people they were playing against. And then they would talk to someone afterwards and say, what would you do if you were in my spot on the river? And people would try to give answers. The actual best answer would be, who cares? That's a terrible waste of time trying to think about these really rare, really awkward river spots with medium strength hands. What you should do is think about everything leading up to that. You should be thinking about what you did on the turn. You should be thinking about what you did on the flop. And you should be thinking about what you did pre-flop. The decision they're trying to fix is at the wrong time. They're trying to fix the decision they had at the end when they should be thinking about the decision they had at the beginning. And that was the same thing with Nevada in this game. So Nevada wound up at 3rd and 14, and they actually end up picking up a big chunk of that 14 here. They wind up with a 4th and 3, and they punt. So that was a terrible decision to punt on 4th and 3. You had to score here if you had any chance. If you're not going to go for this 4th and 3, you might as well just forfeit and leave the field. But it made me think of the times, it's very clear when the decision is made. I don't know if Taua made that decision before 1st or before 4th that he was going to punt. But there are times where 3rd down is not converted, and then the head coach calls a timeout. He's clearly thinking about it, and he sends out the punt team anyway. So he was indecisive, and it's easy to tell the decision was not made before 1st, whether it's 3 down or 4 down territory. So the worst part about that, making the decision at the wrong time, just like, a lot of poker players did and still do, is that whoever's calling the plays, so let's say the head coach is in charge of clock management and the OC is in charge of play calling. The head coach, by not making that decision before 1st, is really handicapping the play caller. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down, I don't know how many coaches would do this, but you should be doing this. They should be different calls, whether you have 4 downs or whether you have 3 and then you're going to punt. So by waiting to make that decision at the wrong time, between 3rd and 4th down, the times you decide to actually go for it on 4th, the play caller didn't get to call 1st, 2nd, and 3rd knowing there would be 4 downs. He called them thinking he would only have 3 chances to pick up the 10 yards, and then you give him this disconnected 4th down play where he has to come up with a brand new plan. So the worst part about deciding at the absolute wrong time is how inefficient you're making downs 1, 2, and 3. So I don't know that Nevada did this. The decision might have been made well in advance. We're not in 4 down territory yet. 15 minutes is way too much. I don't agree with that decision. if that were made, but that's a different discussion. But it made me think of all the times we see that timeout called between third and fourth, and it's just the absolute wrong time. It's like the bad poker player making 3 bad decisions, getting to the river, and then starting to think things through. It's just way too late. You have to make this decision, whether it's 4 downs or not, before the drive even starts.